Coming up in all angles, Jamaicans trapped at sea, trapped by COVID-19.
We feel like immigrants. We feel like green card holders. We feel like our visas are expired. That's how we're feeling now. Refugees.
Some now coming home. But questions remain. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson Miller, and as always, welcome to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. Now, in this segment of the program, we are going to be focusing on that issue of the ship workers and the attempts they've been making to return home and the response of the government. We're going to be talking to the Minister of National Security, his opposition counterpart, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and her opposition counterpart. First, though, we want to hear from two of the ship workers themselves. They are now on the ship that is docked in Falmouth, awaiting the process through which they will be getting off. So we're going to be hearing from Oliver, that's not his real name, also in Kuma Bailey.
I'm trying to hold up, but I actually feel worse. When we thought there was a glimmer of hope, then we are here now. And I think that we're being treated unfairly. And it's really, really sad right now. It's really sad right now.
I thought you'd be happy in port and you hear you're going to be coming off ship in a couple of days. So what's the problem?
Nobody on the ship have no problem whatsoever with the government running their check to make sure. The problem that we're having is we're out here for a very long time, and we think that we are being dealt the wrong set of cards because we are not the victim here. I think that moving us from our facilities to 200 at a time is way too long because that's 18 more added days to our sentence on the ship. And it's very hard for us to process this. It's too much.
You say though that nobody on the ship has a problem with the government running its checks.
Nobody have a problem with the government running its check. But we are wondering if somebody really come on the ship and check our site to see if it's safe or not because the ship is in port. I am wondering what is so different to check us on the ship and then you send us home or send us to Bahia as opposed to send us to Bahia to find out if we are negative or positive. So that's it seems like I don't know what to think about that. Because we're here 2 months now and nobody on the ship seems to have a symptom or the virus, so we are comfortable with where we're at until we find out otherwise if we have it or not.
So I want to be completely clear. Mute your mic for me. I want to be completely clear. Tell us, because I'm a little bit confused, tell me exactly what procedure you want to see followed.
Well, I will really want to see the Jamaica government. I would really love for the government to be satisfied and know that we didn't bring the virus in. However, the process after being here for so long to add 18 more days, you can see your home, you can see Jamaica. Some people is going to be here for 18 more days. It's very hard for us to accept that the process can be easier. It's very hard for us to accept that. So if you want to test us 200 per time, then you could just test us, leave us on the ship, then give us the verdict, send us to wherever you want to send us to, home if we're negative, or to the quarantine facilities or the isolation facility if we are positive.
So the crux is you don't want to leave the ship and go to a quarantine area. Is that it? That you feel like the ship is sufficient as a quarantine site?
Exactly. I think that if I'm here on the ship and I have no symptoms, I feel like I'm okay. Test me on the ship, and then if the test come back positive, well, I have to accept whatever you say. But if it's negative, then send me home. I'm happy to quarantine at home for the 14 days. If it's negative, and if it's positive, I am happy to go in the government facility.
There are a lot of Jamaicans here who are saying, okay, we know you guys want to come home, but public safety comes first. So if it is, you have to wait even another 18 days, as you are saying, that's the price you have to pay because we have to keep the rest of us safe. Well, what do you say to them?
Everybody's on the ship is a small community. We're happy to take the chance right here because we've been here for months now. We feel that we have chances of cross-contamination if you try to move us around. So that's just, it seems like a big game to me.
If you were to use one or two words to describe your state of mind now, what would they be?
Frustrated, confused, don't know what to think as a Jamaican. This is very bad for us as a country. This is international in terms of we all have international friends. They're messaging us every day, and I'm saying as a country, if we hope to open for tourism, the people that value human and are humanitarians, really, this is a very bad look for us, and it's very sad.
Do you think this would make you less likely to want to return to sea when all this is over?
Well, right now I am always all about Jamaica, but I don't know the future and how will Jamaica recover from this. So it might leave me with, even though I plan for this to be my last time, I really don't know or have confidence in the leader anymore. I want to see how Jamaica is gonna recover from this. And then I will have to make my decision, because the reason why I left in the first place is because I couldn't find a suitable job that can maybe take care of my family, buy a house, or all these things that we desire as ambitious people. So nobody that works on ship wants to be on the ship. That's the thing that people don't understand, is because we don't have no choice. Okay. I never wanted to leave Jamaica to live in a foreign country. Maybe I would be there, but I'm on the ship because I choose that is the easiest way to get the best of both. Make some money, and my family is happy. Own a home, own a car. I can't do that in Jamaica. 90% of Jamaica can't do that.
Yesterday we had, I had a little butterfly, and it lasted for a little while. And then, it went away after they told us that they wouldn't start the process until the 21st, which will be tomorrow. We thought that they would have tried to get something done at least today, because we are really so messed up, in our minds, being trapped, for 2 months. So that was kind of a good feeling, knowing that we had the opportunity to come in.
So when you said you had butterflies, meaning you were anxiously anticipating getting back home?
Yes.
But then, because of the procedure, meaning they'll be taking you off in batches of 200, your excitement has died down?
Yes. Completely died down. And
really?
Then, a little bit of frustration. Yeah, on the 29th of March, they informed us that we will be in isolation for 3 days. So we went into isolation for the first 3 days from the 30th, and we've been there. And then when the 3 days ended, they told us that we would be extended for 2 weeks. Then after the 2 weeks ended, they extended us again until the 23rd of April. And we were out of isolation for a few days. And then after that, then we start the transit with the ships in Kokoke. And we came on Adventure of the Seas on the 7th of May. And we went into isolation immediately 2 days after. So we did the transfer on the 7th. So that day was already ended. So we had the 8th. And on the 9th, we went into isolation.
You say you're frustrated, but I mean, but you're nearly there. So is it just that you're being a little bit impatient? Some might say, come on, man, you're being a little bit unreasonable. Government needs to protect the society.
Well, I understand with the majority of the population would say that. If they say that, I would understand. And I know that they would not understand from our side, because most of Jamaica haven't been in our shoes. So no one has an idea what it feels like unless they have wearing our shoe.
Put us in your shoes then. Put us in your shoes.
Okay, so almost 10 months now. You can call it 10 months now. I've been away from family. So that's where the journey begins. And knowing that you're out of operation from the 14th of March and you're here until this day, it's very terrible, because it's not like you can communicate. You cannot sit and have a conversation, because that 2 months has been a very rough 2 months. For the first week in March, starting from the 15th, we did a deep clean of the vessel. So everyone had to do deep clean of the vessel. So it was complete work for 7 days, deep cleaning, sanitation, high level sanitation. So that was very rough. After the sanitation finished, we went into isolation. And that's how they got the rooms to put us in. So knowing that you're here for such a long time, and even though they give you free Wi-Fi so you can talk to your family, it is not the same. Sometimes I hide from my kids because it's very hard seeing them and they're asking me, when are you coming home? And I don't have an answer. I don't have clear information from our government side. That's what the situation has led to be. Because the cruise industry, they're giving us information, okay, on a weekly basis. And if we call them and say that we're not feeling comfortable, we need some update, within a few hours or so, they would give us some update. If we try to contact the government of Jamaica, there is nothing that we would get. We're only being scrutinized. And we feel like refugees. That's the feeling that we get. We feel like we're rejected, as if we're somebody with like a card holder, like we're not a citizen. It's like someone's doing us a favor. So it's a terrible feeling knowing that the months has taken a toll on you. Rejection now becomes a play, and then you have to cry to be accepted only in the water where you're from. So that makes the situation, I don't know. I'm kind of out of words with that part, but it's terrible feeling. It's heart-wrenching.
Do you feel though that progress has been made? The government says it's reached an agreement.
There is progress, and what I have learned is that when you know better can be done, you should not settle for less. So not because we're having progress, that means that we should be happy and rejoice when we know the situation could be more better. So if you're accepting the little that you're getting and making yourself satisfied, you're allowing it to happen again, because we are not the last and we won't be. So even now we're reaching out and crying for the citizens of Jamaica to understand and help us to cry so it can work better for the next who is coming, that would be major improvement. And to say something about the leading government is that nothing has happened until the minority makes noise. So if the leading government says that it's not done by the minority, this was in play before, why not let us hear something about it? These dates could have said before and informed to us. Instead of we only hear about it when there is noise. That shouldn't have been. So that's my take.
Well, a couple of things. One, some people might listen to what you just said and say, hey, are you being political? Are you being political? Are you speaking on for the opposition?
Okay, I am not political. I am not a PNP or a Labour Party. The reason why I had a tough life, I definitely don't like politics because it plays a role since childhood, and I tell myself it will never play a role in my life and my kids. So I worked hard for whatever I have. So I am not political. Now the next thing is, I would give credit to where credit is due. And credit is due with the media, whether it's social media or radio or television network. That is where credit is due. So if the PNP party didn't say anything and the media was the only one, they are the ones who I am giving credit to. They are the ones who hear our cry and let our voices be heard. There are over 1,000 of us here now, and I guarantee you, you can't find 10 persons to talk to you because of fear. So being away from home and your country drives fear in you, that makes you very vulnerable. You have to have guts and tell yourself that, well, if I die for the rights, my kids would live for the cause.